Welcome, everyone, to our Grow with Google session. Thank you for joining us for this powerful conversation on how to grow your business with AI powered tools by Google. We're not just talking about the future of business, we are shaping it today. Okay, I'm Tonya McKenzie, founder of Sand and Shores, your storytelling and brand visibility partner and proud past president of the North Redondo Beach Business Association. I've had the honor of working alongside some incredible community leaders, small business owners, and today I get to share this digital space with this amazing person, Robert Martinez, who happens to be a Google digital coach for Los Angeles. This man is a marketing force. He helps thousands of entrepreneurs across the state turn tech into profit. So today, he's going to make AI make sense and make money for you and your business. The NRBBA isn't just a local association, it's a movement. We connect, support, and elevate businesses in North Redondo Beach. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Robert, take it away.
Thank you so much, Tonya. Appreciate your organization. You guys do amazing work for the South Bay. Always great to work with you and partner with you throughout the years. Very dynamic organization and chamber organization. So with that, my name is Roberto Martinez. I am going to share my screen so we could get rocking and rolling. And today is a very unique presentation. It's all around AI. So let me just cue that up. Let me share my screen.
And while he's doing that, I want to remind you, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. And we will definitely be able to get to those. We see you out there. We know some of you are just hopping on, but make sure if you have questions, they go in the chat. And Robert will also let you know how to get in touch with him after. Ready?
Yeah, Tanya, that's perfect. You guys all see my screen? Oh, beautiful. Love it. Love it. So yeah, so I am what is considered a Google coach. We dropped the digital, we kept the coach. So I'm a California coach. I've been doing this for Google for the past jeepers, 9 years now. And the whole premise of this program is to help all small businesses understand how to use Google tools and services to grow their business. And today's specific focus is all around AI and how Google AI tools can help you grow your business, can help you adopt to the changing reality. Tanya said it excellent. She said, it's a new reality that we're stepping into. We want to adapt to this new reality. And the truth is, historically, around 1990s, what happened? The advent of the internet changed the way we do business, because now you can create an online marketplace to allow you to be able to sell your product online. And that changed the way we primarily do business. Now you don't have to be a brick and mortar business. You can actually be an online business. Think Amazon, think all these other companies that were able to pivot and go online to sell that specific product line. And so, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that comment. So after that, what's the next big shift? Well, the advent of social media. Because now social media allows you to communicate across multiple people, use different social networks to expand your voice. Now your voice has a disproportionate reach. Your voice can now reach tens of thousands, if not millions, and potentially billions. Right around 2008, another big technology occurred, which is the mobile device. So what does this mean for you as a customer and also as an entrepreneur? Well, now you could be walking around your neighborhood, you could be visiting a new city, and you see a product or a service you like. What do? You grab this little device, you go online, and you can buy that product or use that service immediately. That urgency, that I want it and I want it now, really changed the way we do business. And the next big shift is AI. And so Google has been working within the space for a decade plus of helping us understand how to use AI. And most of us, knowingly or not, are already using AI in our day-to-day lives. And so what we realize as entrepreneurs as customers is that it can help solve small, medium, and large issues, problems that could potentially help us grow and scale our companies, from the smallest of translation to the largest of cross-border translations for doctors, understanding and mapping climate change in a way that we could never do before, having predictive analytics. And we'll touch a little bit about that in later slides about machine learning, language models, large language models, and generative AI, and what all those terms mean to you as a small business owner. And the truth is, the technology is already out there. I want to present a case study for you. I love this case study. Mr. Aguirre loves public speaking, was nervous about it, and realized, he wanted to become a better public speaker. Like we all do. It's a labor of love. We all try to be the best. We can't all be Tonya, right? We can't all have an amazing presence and be able to communicate at a very high level. So he said, how do I become a better public speaker? He hired coaches. He went on classes, and he realized other people must be having the same problem that I'm having. So he created Speakio that allows anyone to become better at public speaking. And it incorporated AI within that tool to allow you as a person that wants to improve your public speaking skills to adapt and adopt the lessons according to your capabilities. And so this real-time feedback for you as a customer really allowed folks to improve the public speaking in the immediate and tangible way. But that's just a business entrepreneur that was able to capture that opportunity. We're also seeing across the board different types of tools that have already changed the way we move in the world based on AI. So how many of us have YouTube? How many of us have streaming services and they provide us our recommendations? How many of us have gone over to our friend's house and turned on the streaming service and realized their recommendations are completely different than our recommendations? We're like, man, you really love that, those rom-coms, or you might really like those documentaries. Documentaries are a big hit, and other folks have different types of recommendations on their streaming service. Same thing applies based on AI and machine learning. It's learning from your selections. It's learning from where you're spending your time, and it's providing you recommendations based on those. I'm a big fanatic of YouTube. I probably consume 2 hours a day on YouTube just because that is where I learn most of the material and review some of the content. And it's very specific to my specific desires. I'm a history junkie. I love anything that has to do with history, from ancient to modern. And so most of the recommendations are history related. Why is that? Because it's realizing my preference as a customer. So the same thing applies for you. Now, I had this amazing video where Prada's beauty product, and I'm going to try to play it. We'll see if the audio is great. If the audio is great, we'll let it play out. And if it's not, we'll fast forward and I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, the Spark Notes version of this video. But let's see if it actually plays. And if it does, you guys hear that?
We're very vibrant and colorful people. I wanted to bring that into my beauty brand. Turquoise and your yellows and your reds and your dusk, sunset, sunrise colors. Growing up, Chicana and indigenous culture, tradition was the center of everything that we did. And we do, still to this day. I'm Cece, and I'm the founder and CEO of Prada's Beauty.
Now she glows to the gods.
When I was 27, I went to cosmetology school, and I was working backstage at New York Fashion Week. I was in the hub of the makeup world, but no one looked like me. I was tired of being unseen. I have daughters who are also indigenous, and I don't ever want them to feel how I felt in that moment. So I started Prada's Beauty in my daughter's nursery. When she would take naps, I would work in there and just start doodling and creating things. But not having a business background, I needed to research and really learn about what I was doing. I started going to the University of Google, as we call it. June of 2019, I launched my website. And then a few years later, I took part in our Grow with Google event. When I first learned about AI, I was like,
Oh my gosh, like robots are going to take over the world.
But this gave me the opportunity to learn about AI, specifically Gemini from Google. I thought this could help my business in a big, big way. So I use Gemini to learn about things like what SEO is and what keywords are important to my brand specifically. But I also use it for creative, fun stuff.
Help me write a social media post using this image. Make it fun and trendy. Oh, how cute!
Also, things like packaging ideas. I can take those ideas to my team and say, hey, this is an idea, but I want to tweak it a little bit. Something that would take me all day or even 2 days to do, I can do it, in an hour. It's very helpful for me and my business.
Hi, I'm Cece Meadows, and I'm going to be doing a orange minimalistic look.
For me, makeup is more than just something that you put on your face.
I'm gonna take this pretty light blue.
It allows the world to see you how you want to be seen.
And forget the lip gloss.
I always give credit to my products because I love them.
To create something that helps someone feel and look beautiful. It's not just an honor for me to be able to do it, but to do it in a way that pays homage and respect to those that came before me. I think that is a big driver of why Browse has been successful in this space.
What an amazing video. I absolutely tear up every time I see it. And I met her in person two years ago, a very dynamic individual. And it kind of tells her story of realizing there's an opportunity in the marketplace, a niche, how to enter that niche, and then how to scale using some tools that Google provides her. How many of us have websites? How many of us create content every week? How can we do that in a more succinct, quicker, faster way at a lower price point? And she kind of highlighted some of the things she's done. And one of the things that's always touching is hearing her story, because she doesn't mention that she's a cancer survivor. So there's just so many levels here of being able to recover, to really speak about her community, to really show up in her community and use the tools available to her to grow her company. And so this is the discussion we're going to have around AI, and specifically introduce you to this idea of AI, machine learning, which is the starting point, really. And I'll help you understand what we mean by machine learning, and then the language model, what does that mean, and the large language model, and then we'll finish it off with generative AI and how certain tools are already running that you might not know you're using within the AI, within the Google suite of services. Okay, so let's a quick introduction, and we'll start at the end and work our way backwards. So what is AI, or what we call generative AI? And it is a multifaceted tool that allows you to create content such as text, images, videos, code, music, and based on prompt engineering, the way you communicate with Gemini. Gemini is Google's AI tool. Is it understands how it can start answering your questions and then creating content in a way that resonates and is relevant to you. And the way you do that is by developing what we call prompts, or prompt engineering. That's the official term of what we call it. Prompt engineering is just how we structure the questions that we're asking the generative AI tool, i.e. Gemini. And so this all started 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago with machine learning. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is exactly what it sounds like. You provide a software code certain types of questions, and you give it a lot of content. And so it just reads that content, and based on understanding what that content is, it starts to predict what the next word in a sentence is, what the next, based on the language model. So let's say we're educating this machine learning tool, this coding tool, and we're giving it a ton of information. And then we ask it, okay, what's the following word after the sentence? Peanut butter and then it tells us jelly. That's the next obvious word, because we're educating it. It's learning based on providing it content in the form of books, of articles, of videos, anything that it could consume and process. And so you move from that to language model, which is the way the machine learns is through language. So we give it as much content as possible. We're talking about thousands of content pieces. And so it's going through all this content in a very quick way. And The next iteration is a large language model. Now we're talking billions of pieces of information that we're providing this AI tool so that it could understand the needs that it has that we're asking him. So you move from language model to large language model. And now the final iteration is it learned so much. Now it can start identifying the different types of content you would like to review, you would like to use through generative AI, which is a multifaceted way of understanding all the content that it's consuming to provide for you. So we'll touch a little bit on that. So what's one way we've seen this? And in that context, we already know that when we talk to our different tools available to us, our different material available to us, it could be voice activation. It's learning based on the ton of information that it already has consumed, based on us providing it and uploading content. And then it realizes, well, if people ask this question, 90% of the time is this answer. I mentioned YouTube already, but also chat boxes. Think about your own website and the content on your website. You can train a chat bot to understand what the most asked questions are for your website. You can educate it through the keywords and key phrases and the verbiage that it has on your website. You can upload the questions that you already have, but it's learning based on your customers going to your website and asking those questions. And so you're doing the same thing that other tech companies have done, is educate the machine based on the content you're providing it. And then it's more likely than not to provide the right answer based on historical data. So the more questions people ask is, what time are you open? It's going to know, well, from 9 to 5. Because on your website, it says hours of operation, 9 to 5. So it doesn't have to ask you, because it could read that information on your website and it could answer that. And the more difficult the question, the more you might have to step in. We call that the human in the loop. And we'll talk a little bit about that when it comes to prompt engineering. So we gave you a broad overview on what AI is, specifically generative AI as it pertains to Google and the Google tool Gemini. We talked about machine learning. We talked about large language models and language models. Now let's talk about how Google is giving you the tools and the keys to help you be more productive for your business. We talked about Cece already, and she loves talking about how she's using the generative AI to Gemini to create content for her, to work smarter with her. Now you can use that content that you currently have, upload it to Gemini and ask it questions. Let's say you want it to be a social media marketing manager. Hello, Gemini, you're a social media marketing manager for my beauty salon. My target customer is X. They really love vibrant, colorful images. I want you to create a social media content calendar for me for the month of July, identifying Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The call to action is come visit our website or give me a call. And then that tool will create the content for you to post on your social media. Now, as of this moment, it cannot post that content. You would have to do it, but it could create the content. It could create the copy, i.e. the post. It could create the imaging, the actual image. It can now even create videos for you, which is really, really cool. Very, very snazzy. And so as you're thinking about how to use this, think about Cece and how she uses it for social media posts, for packaging, for any questions she might have. And so one of the first things we ask people to use Gemini for is think about it as a market research project. Think about it as a positioning statement. Think about how you can ask it questions about what kind of strategy should I adapt and adopt to increase and connect to our customer base. Am I doing social media right? Here's my social media post for the month of May. Can you audit it? It could do all these different things for you as your generative AI tool at no cost. Now, as is, Google has already incorporated Gemini into our day-to-day lives through Google search. How many of us have seen the AI overviews? When we Google something, at the very top, it has a Google overview of exactly what your question is. And it pulls that information from different websites and it condenses it and provides it to you in a way that's consumable, easy to use, and fast. That way you can answer that question that you might have very quickly and very efficiently. We also have this amazing tool, this amazing department called Google Labs. And it is a program for testing the AI tools available to you, like Notebook LM, highly recommend if you guys haven't used Notebook LM. It's a Google tool that allows you to synthesize information very quickly. Let's say you want to do an RFP, RFQ, you can upload that RFP and can synthesize that report in a very quick way. And you're able to understand, hey, you could ask the AI tool, i.e. Notebook LM, questions about that document. Hey, when is the due date? What are the 5 things I should know about? When do I start? You can even have it create a podcast for you and tell you about the RFP, RFQ in a podcast fashion in 5, 10, 15 minutes. Really innovative tools that we have here. VO is our AI video creating tools. A big hoopla just happened a couple weeks ago because we just released VO3 that creates 8-second videos for you at no cost. Very, very powerful tool here. And that all came from our Google Lab. So if you want to be the first to identify and use these tools, you can definitely sign up for Google Labs to be an early adopter. Now let's talk about CC again and talk about how we can use the AI tool to brainstorm for our company. We could have it be our accountant. We could have it be our social media marketing manager, our copywriter, our video strategist. We can have it be a paid ad specialist. We could have it improve our website by asking it, how will we improve our SEO on our current website? What are better calls to action for our website? So it's all based on how you create and structure your prompt. And this is what we call prompt engineering. And so now you can go to Google Gemini, which is Google's AI tool, chat with it and supercharge your ideas to create the type of response that typically was only possible with other people that you work with within your company. Now, before you take your meeting, you could actually do an assessment of your competitor analysis. If you're going into a client meeting, you could tell them, hey, here's the client product. I want to understand how I can position myself against that product so I could offer a better service. And it could definitely do that for you. So how do we use this? Well, we go to gemini.google.com, and that's where we start. You can start chatting with Gemini immediately, and you can start asking a question. Now, this is all around what we call prompt engineering. This is Google's framework. I love this framework. The first thing we want to do is tell what is the persona? What do we want the AI tool to be? An accountant, a social media manager, a web developer, a copywriter for websites, a copywriter for email marketing. And so that's the persona that AI tool is going to become. What is the task? What is the action we want this AI tool to take? So I want you to create an email marketing campaign for the month of July. What is the audience, or who is this email going out to? So that's more what I call audience and context for me. I join them, but you could segment it. So what is the audience that this email is going to? So you want to identify your ideal customer base. What is that ideal customer base? Well, if we're talking about a beauty company, it's women between the ages of 18 to 55. Our top 3 segments are 18 to 24, 35 to 45, and 50 plus. So that's the audience. What is the context? Here's the website, my website. Here's the information that I have for you of the different products. Here's our top 3 selling products. That's the context. And then the framework is the format that you want that product to be given to you. I want it in an email format. I want it in Excel and Google Sheets. I want it in a deck. Whatever format or framework you want that in, it'll give it to you. Now, most people say, well, it didn't give me what I want. Well, there's a beautiful term in AI called human in the loop. And all that means is that you can't just set it and forget it. You definitely have to communicate and have a conversation, if you will, with that prospective customer. And we call that process the human in the loop. At the end of the day, we need that individual to stay in the process of improving that prompt and drill down to get the type of response that's most useful for you. So what we have here is your initial draft of the prompt, and then it gives you an answer, and that answer might be decent, might not be decent. You might think it's useful, not useful. But then we fine tune that and we ask it a different prompt, and then it gives us a better answer. And we just repeat the process again and again till we get to the point of it providing us the exact information we care about. So what you see here on the right-hand side is a pretty vague prompt. Let's say you are launching a new app and you say, what's the user journey for someone downloading an app? That's very broad, right? So then it's like, okay, it gives us a very broad answer. Okay, we taper down and we say, okay, what's the user journey for a young person downloading the new puzzle game from the Google Play Store for their Pixel phone? Okay, now that's very, very specific. And so now the Gemini tool will know, okay, we have to be way more specific as a response to that question, and so on and so forth. And the deeper you drill down, the better the prompt is the better the prompt is, and the better the answer to that prompt will be. So that's the basic framework of how you start using Gemini to help you create content, help you develop content, help you improve the marketing and the operations of your company. You could do this for almost any type of sector, any type of industry that you might think of. Let's take a beat right now, and love for you guys to try to test this out in real time. If you guys are joining us, you want to go grab your phone if you're on your phone. And if you're not on the phone, open up your laptop and go to gemini.google.com. Mickey, I'm with you. It is a labor of love for sure. And so, yes, we want to type in that information, and we want to try to write our own prompt. And as we're doing this, we definitely want to see and test it out and play with it. The better we are at writing these prompts, the better those answers will be, and the more comfortable we feel with those prompts. Okay.
Can I prompt something like, how can I make my makeup help me look like Kerry Washington? Can I do something like, no? Okay.
Of course you can. Of course you can. You can definitely do that. I love it. I was just talking to another partner of ours, and she looks, I mean, she's 55 and she looks like she's 25.
Oh my
And so,
God.
like,
Give me the skincare routine for making that happen, please. Thank you.
Especially now for the summer. So we can definitely ask those type of questions, but just remember that when we do ask those questions, we want to make sure we ask them in this format. What is the persona? What is the task? What is the audience, context, and framework? If you want to simplify a little bit more, persona, task, context, and format or framework. And so that's really going to help us improve the way we structure the prompt, and then always iterate so that it gets the best result possible for you. Okay. Let's move on to the next part of the presentation and talk about a little bit of the productivity tools that Google AI can help you in your business. And what we mean by productivity, we want to think about operational productivity. Think about your business. Think about how do we improve our operations? How do we improve the process of our operations? How do we streamline our company? Thankfully, Google's already doing a lot of this material behind the scenes, and we'll show you some examples right now. And so, we used to talk about how email is one of the most powerful platforms to use to grow and scale your business because it's so inexpensive for scale, meaning it takes you 30 minutes to shoot out an email. If you CC 1 million people, it still takes you 30 minutes to shoot out that email. So that scalability is impressive. Now Google has incorporated within your Gmail account what's called a smart reply, which is how do we respond quickly and efficiently to the questions and comments that people have of us. And the way we go about doing that is through Google incorporating Gemini already into your email. So it could just say, here's the answer. There's many times that I've, don't want to type out the whole email. I look at the smart reply and I say, yes, this is the reply I want to have. Boom, boom, boom. And that way I could get down my inbox to 0 as fast as possible. So that's already running on your Gmail. Most of us have seen that tool. The other cool tool that we have is that summer's here, we're traveling. So what Google has incorporated within your Gmail is 3 different features. The first one is the tabbed inbox. And that's what you see on the very top. It'll segment your emails according to your category. So one might be your primary email, one might be promotions, one might be social. And so that way your inbox is well structured. So you're not spending a ton of time on emails that take away your attention on the wrong thing. We want you to be hyper-focused on driving revenue, improving operations. Summary card is probably my favorite thing. And there's anytime that I travel, and I used to travel a lot. Right now, I'm kind of on pause for the next month, but I'm looking forward to starting traveling next month again. And so let's say I book my ticket. Well, Google will now have a summary card about my flight information, time of day, location, and I could upload that to my Google Calendar. It automatically it syncs it with my Google Calendar. So now I have the information on my flight, easy to read, easy to understand. And I also have that on the Google Calendar if I use Google Calendar. The last one is probably my team's favorite, which is nudges. Sometimes my team is shooting me 1,000 emails a day and I forget, something slips through the crack. How many times has that happened to us? So Google now has what we call nudges. Well, I'll tell you, hey, by the way, you haven't responded to this email in 5 days, 3 days, 7 days. Want to follow up? And then you click on that and then it'll prompt that email. And on top of that, smart reply will actually be there, and you could do a smart reply if you don't want to spend too much time in answering that email. So all these tools are already incorporated. Now, what's beautiful is that if you do use Google tools like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Gemini is embedded in these tools. So you can start leveraging the heck out of Gemini right after this session. And so the way we can do that is we can ask Gemini questions within our Gmail inbox. We can ask our Google Docs questions using Gemini. Hey, I want you to synthesize this report that I created. I want you to highlight the top 5 takeaways from this report. Same thing with Sheets. So let's dive into that and show you how that looks like. But we don't have that video available, so we're going to keep it moving. Okay, so let's talk about like Google Gemini and your Google Sheets. If you have a Google Sheets and you wanted to synthesize the information, you could ask Gemini, that runs on the very top right of your inbox, hey, I want you to synthesize this report. So for example, let's say I'm going to share my screen right now on a report that we did for our company. So I'm going to share this tab and you guys see the report right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this thing and it says ask Gemini. And there we're going to say, can you summarize the report for us in a paragraph? And so it's scanning the information and there it is. There's the summary of the report. And so a lot of different ways you can use this Gemini tool. That is just one way of doing that. You could do that as well for a Google Sheets and a Google Slide Deck. And the Google Slide Deck, you can even upload images, create images in real time, and insert them into your Google presentation, into your Slide Deck presentation. Now, that's just a very quick and easy way to start using these AI tools to help you be more productive. We can also talk about how there's certain tools already incorporated to measure the impact and results of your marketing. One of them is Google Ads. How many of us have used Google Ads? If we do run Google Ads, Google Gemini is already running on the ads if you choose to have it run. And what it can do is it could start reading your website. If you say, hey, Google, scan my website, pull information from my website to create the ads. So it used to be, we used to spend a lot of time and energy in creating ads. Now Google Gemini can pull that information fairly quickly for you. So Google Gemini is already incorporated into Google Ads to improve your search ads if you are running Google Ads. So it's different. It's not that one or the other. They use different functionalities for both. I absolutely love VO3. It's this really cool tool that if we have enough time, we might be able to showcase it, but it allows you to leverage the heck out of video content. Very, very realistic video content. Some of us who are addicted to social media might see a ton of new videos. They're like, how are you pulling out all this content? Well, it's through VO3. So we definitely can show you that a little bit later if we have time, but it's what you feel most comfortable and what provides you the best results when you're using those tools. For your ads, we also have something called Performance Max that allows you to pick the campaign called Performance Max, VEO3. Yes, Tonya, that's correct. VEO3. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. And so Performance Max allows you to improve and really focus on driving your ads. And it's running across all the different channels that Google has available for promotion, for advertising. And this maximizes your ad spend if you do want to maximize your ad spend. Google Studios is also running on Google Ads. And so now you can really get really useful images by the product studio using and leveraging the current images you have and then jazzing them up as you see here. Specifically on the Google Merchant Center. Now, for you guys that don't know what a Google Merchant Center is, it's a free tool that Google provides any product-based company so that the product can appear on Google Search, on Google Images, on Google Shop. And there's a whole workshop we can dive into next time to talk about how to use Google Merchant Center, if that's something that you guys are interested. What's really cool here is that it's telling us that Google Merchant Center has now incorporated Gemini, and now we have what's called a product studio within Google Merchant Center to improve our products and how they look. Gemini is also incorporated into Google Analytics. How many of us have connected our website to Google Analytics? That allows us an amazing amount of insights that explain certain trends that are happening within our website, to explain what's working, what's not working within our website. Absolutely love this tool. It gives you strong information on how best to improve your website, how best to improve the customers that are coming to your website. And best of all, there's nothing you need to do, because Google Analytics, if you have Google Analytics, it already incorporated Gemini into your platform. So all you have to do is click on the Insights link within Analytics, and it'll provide you insights. Okay, with that, we want to talk about how to put Google AI to work for you. We kind of give you a high-level overview of all the different ways that Google's already using AI for your suite of services within the Google ecosystem. We also showed you how to incorporate Gemini for your content strategy, regardless of what kind of content you want to create. You can also go online and freshen up on your AI learning by going and registering for a free AI course called AI for Small Business. You can watch it on demand. It's at no cost, and you could click on this link or take a picture right now and make sure you go back to that specific link and view it at your own time. It's up now. And so that will give you just a good primer on how to use Google AI tools. We also have a Coursera workshop that's about 10 hours and is self-paced, all around generative AI tools to help you boost productivity. You can go to grow.google/AI essentials and take that 10-hour course to learn about those Google tools, the generative AI, and just get a primer on generative AI so that you have a working knowledge of how these tools work. Lastly, we have a bunch of certification programs for those of us who are interested in getting certified and upskilled. We could definitely talk about that a little bit later. It's at Grow with Google Certifications, and you could learn how to become a better project manager, IT, e-commerce, data analytics, you name it. We have a certification, and it helps you get upskilled. Here's a quick overview of all the different resources I provided to you in this presentation. Feel free to take a picture of that if you do have questions. Or if you want to have that list. I think Tonya's going to be sharing out this video and posting it on YouTube, as well as sharing it out on the email blast. But if you guys can't wait, make sure you take a picture right now so you have it readily available.
And Mickey wants to know how she gets a little Gemini star on her Chrome.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's no little star on Chrome as of now. Chrome is so let me just be very specific. Chrome is the web browser. Mm-hmm. So, but the little star, I like Gemini star, it's already running on your Google Docs. It's already running on your Gmail, on your Sheets, and it's on the right-hand corner of your email, of your document. So it's on the top right. And Mickey, happy to set up a one-on-one call if you have any more questions regarding that, so that we can definitely address those and make sure that you do have access to Gemini. We also have additional AI tools. If you want to be the first to receive and learn how to use them, go to aitestkitchen.withgoogle.com and just have testing out different tools that are being rolled out every day within our suite of services.
Ooh, Music FX. What? Tell me a little bit about that. I get to make my own music? Like, yeah, I'm a producer now?
You could definitely do that. It's sampling of different music. So you could definitely go in there, sample different music, use different music for your content.
Amazing. AI test kitchens.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that, love to pause and see if you guys have any questions. Feel free to scan that QR code and leave feedback for us. All information is good information. All feedback is good feedback. So I definitely want to make sure that we are responsive to your community as a whole and help us improve. We're all here to improve and to help you guys grow and scale your business using Google tools. With that, Tonya, I'd love to turn it over to you and see if there's anyone that has any questions.
Remember, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. What do we have here? Once we have any availability with, okay. I do want to ask you, for our business community, some of the things that you've covered before, basic Google usages like claiming your Google,
Business.
getting your business on maps and things of that nature. Is there an AI assistance for that type of thing also? So for some of the more basic
Yeah,
things?
so you could definitely ask Gemini, how do I improve my Google business profile? How do I own my Google business profile? I'm having challenges. Can you help me? I'm gonna walk you through. It'll be your own personal assistant. Now, Gemini is also running on Google business profiles. And if you have products, you can definitely use Gemini, and Gemini will start saying, hey, would you like me to add these products on your Google business profile? So it's your choice to incorporate Gemini, but it's already running on Google business profile, which is fantastic. And then if you have these questions, like how do I improve my business profile? How do I get on Google Maps? I would definitely go to the Gemini tool and say, hey, you're a Google expert, which it is, when it comes to Google business profile. I'm having challenges in this specific spot. How do I help improve my business profile? How do I get access to my business profile? Can you give me the link so I could talk to the community center for Google business profile?
Very good. Very good. I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So he's given you his information on how to get in touch with him. We absolutely love working with Robert and their team. What else? I could come up with 1,000 questions, but the truth is, we want to make sure that you guys get your questions answered and that you feel like this was useful for your time. And we make sure Robert wants to come back and hang with us later
Always.
because they always have great new tools coming out to grow your business. Continue to stay innovative, continue to be creative, and think outside of the box. And there will always be a new tool to help you solve problems. Will you be sharing this video? We definitely will be sharing it on mine and the NRBBA's YouTube page. It's actually posted on the Facebook page currently. So if you want to go back there and watch it, you can definitely do that. What else? I implore you to kind of dig in if you took notes, kind of think back to some of the things that he said and just try some more simple concepts and then try to get a little more creative with it. But the truth of the matter is, AI is not to be feared. It's actually to be conquered. So see what you can find that maybe hasn't worked yet. And when you're creative and you come up with different ways that a tool can work, someone will engineer a solution. There's like a never ending evolution going on right now. So just don't get left behind. I see I need assistance with receiving some of the resources provided during the webinar. We will go ahead and share out. Can you, are you able to send me your presentation that I can share out or no?
Great question. Let me double check on that. I want to say yes, but I want to get it approved first. So let me make sure
Even
I get
if
it.
it's just a page with the resources, that would be great.
Happy to follow up with you.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's it for now. Robert, again, thank you. You are always providing great opportunities for our business, our community, and the leaders of organizations in Redondo Beach. And we just want to thank you.
I appreciate you, Tonya, Mickey. Thank you so much for being so engaged. And let me know. Looking forward for our next session.
Absolutely. You guys take it easy and have an incredible weekend. Hey, thanks for showing up to the podcast where we all know that the best leaders